Righto chaps, today I want to tell you about 2 days of hedonistic hell which I recently went through with my trip over to Koh Phangan, which you can actually see just the edge of it there in the background. Koh Phangan is an island just off the Gulf of Thailand, and it's actually right opposite the island where I reside, which is Koh Samui. And once a month they hold a full moon party, so it's on every full moon, and it's essentially 60,000 sweaty people on a big beach going absolutely mental on all sorts of drugs, alcohol, music, etc. Just a big party. Now this isn't my scene nowadays and I don't really like to party, but we had a few friends visiting from the UK and they very much so like to party. And to be fair, this is my final chance to actually catch the full moon party before I visit my family in the UK, leave Thailand for a little bit. Obviously I'll be coming back here later on, but it's my last chance to experience the full moon party. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go to the full moon party. Now I went to Phangan for 3 days and I was expecting to go out one night. However, on the day we arrived, my friends from the UK informed me that there is a jungle rave. Now, if I was a better man, I would have said no to the jungle rave. However, saying no to a jungle rave in Thailand is a bit ludicrous, isn't it? It sounds like one hell of an experience, right? So we arrived to Phangan on a boat. Turns out there's a jungle rave on that night, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to a fucking jungle rave. Me and my friends sat on the beach before the rave starts and, you know, we're getting some drinks in and I'm feeling good. If I'm honest with you boys, like, I decided to go out. When I decide to, you know, go out and experience things like that, I let myself go. I don't feel guilt. I allow myself to actually just enjoy my time there, because you may as well, right? The worst case scenario is you go out on a degenerate night out and you feel guilty and you don't even enjoy your time. So it ultimately is just a massive waste of time. I went out and I allowed myself to have a good time. I had a few drinks, felt good. Jungle rave, we catch a taxi. We go to the middle of the fucking jungle and there's just a rave. Weirdly enough, the demographic for this rave was all tourists. So there was no Thai locals there at all. They're all tourists. But I had this whole setup in the jungle. Seriously, I had like the DJ decks. I had like a whole stage like set up in the middle of the jungle with multiple bars dotted around. It was pretty cool. And it was a deep techno rave, and I don't typically do techno, although after these 2 days I've actually grown a bit more fond of it. But it's essentially just boom, 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 boom music. My feet were going all night long. I literally did not stop. Boom, 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 boom. Step into this techno music. Got back at about 3 AM, had a good time. Next day, I've had 4 hours of sleep and it's now full moon day, which is why I came to the island in the first place. Can't get any work done at all. 4 hours of sleep, been out last night. My dopamine receptors are fried because I've just experienced like so much fun, you know. Can't really get anything productive done at all. I'm simply just waiting around for 7, 8 PM to roll around so we can go out and enjoy full moon. So basically whole day's burned, go out on the evening, few drinks once again, feeling good. Like I say, if you're gonna go out, don't feel guilty. There's no point. This is literally the worst case scenario. And then full moon, 60,000 people on a beach, all dancing and partying, doing drugs, alcohol, getting fucked up, casual sex rampant. It's exactly how it sounds. There was a fight going on the beach at some point. There's a bunch of degenerate women, it's awful. A bunch of people just on the beach, like completely off their fucking head on gear. Almost worryingly, right? Because I was out until about 3, 4 AM, and by that time, it was starting to die down a bit. But in between like the bars where all the music was playing, there was like some bits of beach which were just like, you know, a bit quieter. Those bits of beach, there's just people sat there or like lying down, just like looking absolutely gone, not even on this earth. Now, how did I feel about full moon? How did I feel about partying and drinking? Like I said, when I was there, I had a great time. Once again, non-stop movement. I had a few drinks. I felt good. I had a great time. I had a good time with friends as well. I actually lost my friends halfway through and I was there alone for about 3 hours. That's fine. I have historically been like that on a night out where I'm a bit of a free spirit and I'm quite happy to just sort of wander off and do my own thing. So I just spent that time like dancing and just talking to random crackheads, you know. But ultimately, how did I feel about full moon, partying, etc.? Well, on the boat ride back from Koh Phangan back to my island here, I was literally itching, ready to get back to work. And what it served as is a very nice reminder of how important my work is to me and how that actually fulfills me as a man, rather than these cheap dopamine experiences which you can get by going out, going to a bar, getting some drinks in. Well, if you bet you is, whatever the fuck you do. I already knew this about myself. I already knew that my work and my mission here is what makes me happy and what fulfills me. But it was a nice reminder because sometimes I do get this itch to go out and, like, you know, party a bit, and the itch got scratched, and ultimately it left me feeling unfulfilled. Fun and fulfillment are entirely different things. And the fact is, I came back to Samui wanting to work so badly, but because the 3 nights I spent in Koh Phangan were so heavy, it took me like 5 days to really get back into my routine. I only just feel now ready to fully efficiently work. Past Sam can sacrifice his present time right now to have fun. But the problem is, he actually sacrificed my time right now because of the amount of time required for me to recover from such a heavy 2 days. And that's what pisses me off the most. And I don't live in regret. I don't regret what I did because once again, there was an itch and it got scratched and I experienced full moon party. It's a big talking point about Thailand as well. This big fucking party on a beach with 60,000 people. I experienced it and I was ultimately left unfulfilled. Not that impressed, man. So here's a few learning lessons I learned or solidified within myself on my 2-day hedonistic hellish trip. Number 1, no good decisions are ever made when you're off your head on booze, drugs, whatever it may be. I can't think of a single time where a good decision has ever been made while you're off your head on those substances. Whether that be sleeping with a 4 out of 10, or doing drugs which you've told yourself that you're not going to do before, or just doing generally really dumb stuff. People who are off their head on booze, drugs, whatever, they make dumbass decisions and they make fools of themselves. And that is not the man who you've built yourself up to be. You're not presenting your best self when you're off your head on these substances. You make bad decisions, you're not calculated, you're not slick. You're certainly not slick. These sorts of nights out generally lead to bad decisions which you may later regret in the future. Number 2 is that there is absolutely nothing for you there. When you're sat at home and you're watching this video, for example, and you might be thinking about, the fun you might have at a club or a rave or a beach party or full moon or whatever the fuck it may be. You're thinking of the height of the dopamine, but you're not actually thinking about the real life consequences that follow from making such a decision. And frankly, the amount of fun that you have at these events is incredibly artificial, and the relationships that you form and the people you speak to, the conversations you have are all artificial. They are all fueled by substances like alcohol, drugs, whatever it may be. You are not ever going to find a real relationship or a real connection in any of these scenarios around any of these people. You may think that you have really good friends who spend a lot of their time doing these sorts of things at clubs, events, raves, whatever. But if you remove that level of artificial fun from your friendship, relationship, whatever it may be, some of you guys literally wife up drum and bass chicks. Jesus Christ. If you remove that level of artificial fun, what have you got left? Do you have a stable, good relationship? 9 times out of 10, you fucking don't. There is nothing for you there in those situations, those clubs, those raves, whatever it may be. Number 3, without the veil of dark club lights and large crowds, are you actually happy with how you're behaving and how you're putting yourself across? Frankly, I think if the veil of dark club lights and large crowds was actually removed from any of these scenarios, you would be absolutely ashamed of how you're behaving, where you are, who you're hanging out with, what you're doing. Like, the level of shame you would feel would actually leave a pit in your stomach. If you wouldn't be willing to behave in this way without the veil of dark club lights, large crowds, booze, whatever it may be, why are you behaving like that now? And number 4, what I'm doing on this channel, how I'm spending my time, how I'm helping people is ultimately what fulfills me the most. Whether that be achieving results for my students inside of my academy, or producing content like this for you guys to watch and learn from. And I know this video is a bit off the cuff. I'm trying to figure out my format still, but I've made a lot of strides in the last few weeks because I've realized that in my videos, I'm trying to be someone that I'm not. I'm seeing making a video as a very mechanical task, when the fact is, I do my best work when I'm literally just sort of off the cuff and I'm a bit more free-flowing and I'm able to bring more of myself into the videos. And I think a lot of you guys find me relatable because frankly, a lot of you have seen exactly where I've come from 2 or 3 years ago. And the results that I've achieved is incredibly realistic for any single one of you to reproduce yourself. So it's actually really nice that I'm able to bring more of myself out into these videos and stop seeing it as such a mechanical task and trying to be someone I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be quite off the cuff as I have been in this video usually. I just wanted to tell my story about, my trip to Koh Phangan and a few learning lessons that I got from it. I released a video a few days ago where I'm starting to bring more of my personality into the videos, and it got a bunch of really nice comments straight away saying, Sam, your videos are so much better now, you're starting to be yourself more, da da da. I got a bunch of comments like that, and I just wanted to say, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for noticing that I'm trying to, bring myself out more into these videos. But yeah, those are my learning lessons from my 2 days of hedonistic hell on an island in Thailand. I hope you found this interesting, and I hope, this helps solidify some of your own beliefs in you. Your mission is what fuels you. You don't need these cheap dopamines. There's nothing for you in those environments. Sometimes it's really good to just have a reminder of those things. If you want to make money from your bedroom, click this video right now. Take care, boys.